And when we looked at this study, we used a phenomenological approach to the research. We wanted to ensure that the themes emerged from the research itself. For this, we used a case study method, and we actually interviewed 5 different teachers. These teachers, I should note, were in very upper to middle class income level suburban school districts, and so they had experiences again with children moving into their classrooms that were students of color, but also many of the students in their classrooms were from lower income family communities. For this approach, we also used open-ended, semi-structured interviews protocols because we wanted to ensure that the teachers had opportunities to share with us the experiences that they had while in the classroom. And so in talking with them, we learned a lot of information. And so we used a thematic analysis approach, which would allow for structural cooperation, consensual validation, referential adequacy to, again, be able to dissect and emerge the themes that appeared. In order to ensure the accuracy of the data itself in our research, we wanted to use coding, memoing, and triangulation of data. In addition to that, we had negative case analysis and member checking to again ensure that the information that the teachers shared with us was accurate and in-depth.
Go ahead.
The themes that emerged from the research themselves were the following. So all of the teachers expressed frustration with what had occurred in the classroom. As we indicated before, for years, many of the teachers had what we would consider homogeneous classrooms. Many of the students were very much similar in their demographic backgrounds with regard to race, as well as their economic class and as far as their families are concerned. And so the teachers themselves were frustrated because they no longer were able to, in their minds and their perspectives and their experiences, focus solely on their academic instruction within the classroom as classroom teachers. The teachers felt as though they were more focused on what they believed as a lack of respect and a lack of trust. And this lack of respect and trust came not only from the students, but from the parents themselves. They had to focus more on their relationships. And so for many of them who wanted to focus solely on academics and instruction, that was something that was very difficult. The teachers themselves felt that the underserved students needed stricter discipline. And again, when we talk about the underserved, we're meaning for many of the teachers, their perspectives with that was from lower income families. So again, because they did not necessarily have the resources that the teachers believed they should have when coming into the classroom, they had to focus more on the actual discipline and not on the academics. Teachers themselves also felt that there was a lack of parental apathy, and so the parents themselves were not necessarily engaged in the academic program of the students. Teachers had varying perspectives on why parents were apathetic in their behavior, and many of them also related that to parents working 2 or 3 more jobs to provide for their families because of the financial issues they may have presented themselves. And the last thing that emerged was that the teachers often found themselves to be colorblind. They did not necessarily feel comfortable and or did they want to acknowledge the issues that presented themselves in the classroom as it pertained to race. And even when we say colorblind, we talk about race, but they didn't want to necessarily address the issues with regard to the socioeconomic issues that prevailed in the classrooms.